Hello guys and welcome back. Today I'm going over the recent controversy with Take-Two Interactive announcing, quote, recurrent consumer spending in their future games, including the potential Borderlands 3. But before I start, the art from the thumbnail is from Aloyxi, who makes awesome Borderlands, Star Wars, superhero, and so much more. Just awesome art, which is definitely worth your time. I'll link to the DeviantArt page down below if you want to check it out. So with that, let's get right into it. Okay, so to set the stage, Take-Two Interactive is the parent company to 2K and includes the game companies Rockstar and Gearbox Software. You know, Rockstar is known for Grand Theft Auto and BioShock, Gearbox is known for the Borderlands series, and recently we learned that Take-Two is expecting the launch of a franchise close to their next fiscal year, which I've already made a video about, and currently people believe that the game referenced is either a new BioShock game or Borderlands 3, and the timeline for release would be between mid-2018 and early 2019. In a conference call with investors, the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, Strauss Zelnick, goes into a lot of the future plans for the company and obviously wants to keep the investors, well, investing for lack of a better word. The quote that all major media and YouTubers have ran with is, quote, "We've said that we aim to have recurrent consumer spending opportunities for every title that we put out at this company. It may not always be an online model, it probably won't always be a virtual currency model, but there will be some ability to engage in an ongoing basis with our titles after releases across the board." Now, a lot of players know about this, and most recent AAA games include some sort of loot boxes after the huge success of Blizzard and Overwatch. So after learning about this, a lot of players are now just going out and complaining before these games have even been announced or anything has been confirmed. But there actually is more to the story, so wait before you complain and at least be justified in your position. So CEO of Gearbox Software, Randy Pitchford, cleverly responded to a few concerned fans on Twitter, where one fan asked, quote, "Randy, what does this mean for the next Borderlands? Please." Randy then responds, quote, "I read the opening quote and noticed Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2 DLC model innovated in a way exactly consistent with his thoughts, which is in reference to Borderlands 1 having 4 pieces of paid content that cost money after the release. Then more so in Borderlands 2, it was expanded. There were 2 character packs, 4 story DLCs, headhunter packs, and even skin packs, which were not required to play the game, but if players wanted, they could pay and support the developer, which a lot of people forget about. They were selling skins in Borderlands 2, just no one made a big deal out of it then because you don't have to buy it, it doesn't change your game experience." Then he also reaffirmed this idea in another Twitter conversation, which I don't believe adds anything different to this conversation, but I will link it down below if you're interested just to have the full story. Then, as the final nail in the coffin of the idea of Borderlands having any sort of loot box or an obnoxious monetization, Randy Pitchford went on Twitter and then posted a huge thread. So I'm going to read every single tweet just to get the point across. So number 1, I'm generally very much against predatory monetization schemes in free-to-play games for consumable goods and even more so against them in premium games. I tend to oppose such techniques both as an artist and creator and also as a consumer and a gamer. Evidence of my position is that we never sold golden keys, an arguably consumable good in the Borderlands game. Golden keys, for you guys that don't know, were in Borderlands 2. They could open the golden chest, and you could get some okay weapons through it. Really good for early game, but nothing too crazy. Then he said, "We had non-trivial levels of demand from consumers to do so, but we did not relent. We chose only to give golden keys away via social media and partner relations. Contrarily, I tend to be very supportive of post-launch monetization of durable goods as DLC in almost any form. Again, as a consumer and as a creator, I think that the new, discrete content that took energy to create deserves to have the effort compensated. So for DLCs that Gearbox has made, they put a lot of time and effort, and I agree, they deserve to make money off of it. And I think as us players, don't care as long as it's good content, which they have provided. I do, however, object to some of the arguments and language being used to fight against the predatory monetization schemes I just have described in the first post of this thread. As an artist and creator who very much loves the nature of loot boxes as it appears in our Borderlands games, I'm concerned that the words loot box are being used as shorthand for a practice I'm not in favor of. Can we find another term for what we object to? Also, I've seen arguments against consumable goods that are for consumers who want to speed up progress along the lines of, quote, grinding sucks, I shouldn't have to pay to avoid grinding. I have an issue with this kind of argument. In this case where grinding is, well, playing the game, and in the case where the player does not want to, well, play the game, but doesn't want to pay cash to skip playing the game, I recommend considering another choice. Don't play the game. If the grinding is the game, and the game is not fun, the rational choice is to play other games that are fun. If playing the game is fun, it should be a reward, not an obstacle to play the damn thing. If playing the game is not fun and the desire to skip it, well, that's a game that should be skipped and passed upon. I realize there are some people who want the status of having beaten the game or achieved a certain degree of progress in the game, and are willing to pay in order to achieve that. Those are precisely the sorts of minds those kinds of games are for. But if you are the kind of mind who does not want to pay for progress and is not actually enjoying the grinding of playing the game, well then frankly you should take it upon yourself to vote with your attention and just stop playing the game and move on to something else. I love games, I love playing them, I love creating them. As a customer, I'm very happy making sure I'm helping to finance the efforts of artists who entertain. As a customer, I can make free choices about where my time and money goes. So should you. So, very long-winded, he goes through a lot of points, but it basically does get down to the fundamental thing. They did Golden Keys. Randy Pitchford still supports Golden Keys, and he wants to keep making DLC for his games. And if you don't want to pay for the DLC, don't pay for it. But he does go on that he's not going to make it a pay to win. The grind for weapons is in there. The grind for gear will always be in game, and there will be no shortcuts for it. The grind to level up characters will always be there. He wouldn't go and tweet this out unless he was 1000% sure that they were going to keep it in the game. He has no reason to. If he was scared, or if there was any doubt in his mind that we have to add loot boxes that the consumers are going to pay for, he wouldn't post this. He wouldn't go out of his way to tweet to fans defending his games. So just sit back, relax, realize Borderlands 3 will be everything we want and more. Gearbox is taking their time with it. And put some faith into these people. The game is not made by one person. I know a lot of you guys look at Randy Pitchford and just immediately disregard anything he says just because of the past. But the game is more than him. The company is more than him. Now go out and retweet and spread the word that Borderlands will not fall for the peer pressure greed that so many other games have fallen for. You guys were so quick to attack Gearbox and Randy in Borderlands. But now it's on you to spread the word when you guys were the ones that jumped the gun, and especially when they are wrong assumptions that can hurt the game in the long run. We all want to see this game do good. We all want Gearbox to continue. For the most part, we're pretty safe to assume that loot boxes and all that pay to win is not going to be a thing in this game. But with that, like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.